I think it's garbage because at some point we all bought into this lie that you got to feel ready in order to change.
Yeah.
We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point you're going to have the courage. At some point you're going to have the confidence, and it's total bullshit, frankly. Are we allowed to swear on this
Absolutely.
show? Okay. It's complete garbage, and so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation, and that's not true, because the way that our minds are wired, and the fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us. You're never going to feel like it. Motivation's garbage. You only feel motivated to do the things that are easy, right?
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I know exactly why that is. Because I've studied this so much, because for me, one of the hardest things to figure out was, why is it so hard to do the little things that would improve my life? And what I've come to realize, and what we'll talk a lot about today, is that the way that our minds are designed is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. And the way that this all happens is it all starts with something super subtle that none of us ever catch. And that is with this habit that all of us have that nobody's talking about. We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea. You're sitting in a meeting. You have this incredible idea. And instead of just, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. Now, what none of us realize is that when you hesitate, just that moment, that micro moment, that small hesitation, it sends a stress signal to your brain. It wakes your brain up, and your brain all of a sudden goes, oh, wait a minute. Why is he hesitating? He didn't hesitate when he put on his killer spiky sneakers. He didn't hesitate with the really cool track pants. He didn't hesitate with the NASA t-shirt. Now he's hesitating to talk. Something must be up. So then your brain goes to work to protect you. It has a million different ways to protect you. One of them is called the spotlight effect. It's a known phenomenon where your brain magnifies risk. Why? To pull you away from something that it perceives to be a problem. And so you can truly trace every single problem or complaint in your life to silence and hesitation. Those are decisions. And what I do, and what's changed my life, is waking up and realizing that motivation's garbage. I'm never going to feel like doing the things that are tough or difficult or uncertain or scary or new. So I need to stop waiting until I feel like it. And number two, I am one decision away from a totally different marriage, a totally different life, a totally different job, a totally different income, a totally different relationship with my kids. Not like one decision, I'm divorcing you in the marriage example, but one decision on, you could be having a conversation with your spouse and you feel your emotions rise up, and within a tiny window, those emotions can take over and can impact how your marriage goes. Or you can learn how to take control of that micro moment and make a decision to act in a way that actually shifts your marriage. Right. Your life comes down to your decisions. And if you change your decisions, you will change everything. Hey, it's Mel Robbins. I'll get you right back to that video. But first, you got to know I have a 3-part free training program. It's called The Reset. Seriously, it's free. I coach you. Amazing. If you're tired of having self-doubt hold you back, let Mel Robbins inspire and empower you. There's a workbook. It's incredible. The Reset. Write down this URL or hit pause and jump in because the link is in the caption below. All right, you in? Good. I can't wait to see you in The Reset. And now, back to the video. Like if I were to ask you, Peter, hey, Peter, I was bankrupt and I was fighting with my husband all the time and drinking too much. How could I change my life? What would you tell me to do?
Yeah.
Say, look for a job, Mel. Stop being a bitch to Chris. And you might want to consider sobering up. The answers are easy. It's the actions that are hard. Instead of being addicted to information, which to me is a form of self-doubt.
Mhm.
If you need a credential because legally you can't own a nail salon without the license, get the credential. If you're getting a credential because you're scared shitless about selling yourself, it's time to start selling. Because the credential is not going to solve the self-doubt. The only thing that solves self-doubt is action. It's really that simple. And the other thing that we fixate on is you fixate on the big stuff. You got to start with the little stuff. You know, they did this massive research project at the Harvard Business School where they basically asked what makes people feel satisfied or successful with their work. And after this monster study, they came down to one factor. Are you making progress every day on something that's important to you? You see, a mistake that we make is that we wait to feel ready to do something. So we have all this pent up energy and then we make a burst and we make 10 phone calls. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like motivated. This is freaking amazing. And then all of a sudden you're like, woo, I'm done. Oh, and then you don't do it for a week. You are so much better off making one important phone call a day. So much better off because you're seeing yourself make progress on something every single day. And you're also not relying on these bouts of feeling motivated, which come and go like the breeze.
How do I avoid busy action and only apply that to the right actions? She's just not sure what actions to take. And I'm sure you've been there as I have. What do you tell her?
Well, so first of all, I think any action that you take is a good one, even if it's busy, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get moving, stop thinking, do what you need to do. When you notice that you're just focused on the busy stuff, and your wisdom, your instincts are telling you you're avoiding the big thing, that's a moment of power. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go focus on the big thing. The other thing that's going to help her is if every morning you, in those 20 minutes that you find for yourself before you look at the phone and you plan your day, come up with your priority for the day that matters to you, like some project you're working on, something related to your business, and then identify the one thing that you're going to do that scares you today to drive the business forward. That's it. If you were to just do one thing a day that's outside your comfort zone with your business, you'll be shocked at where your business is 6 months from now. Just one. I'm not asking for big shit here. I'm asking for one thing. And do it even though you don't feel like it.
So you didn't always know exactly what action to take. You were just taking action and adapting and adjusting along the way.
No, I feel like there are some people in life that I think are like gifted with OCD or like on the spectrum Aspergery that are super like focused and they know exactly what they want and they can just march right towards it and that's how they go. I'm not like that. I have to stumble into things. So what happens for me is my instincts tell me something. And then I go and take action to do it. And then as I'm doing it, I gather all this data that tells me I hate, oh, what the heck, hold on, this is CNN. We got to decline that. Tell them goodbye. Data that informs me. I'm going to give you an example, okay? So I had tremendous success in the speaking business. I went from zero, never had been paid for a speech, to literally the most booked woman in the world in 3 years flat.
Crazy.
And there's a number of reasons why. Number one, the content's terrific. I'm also a really good public speaker. There's not a lot of women on the circuit, but more importantly, I behave in a way because I know that the number one asset in business is make the people you're dealing with know that they matter. Take care of everybody you deal with, everybody. The event planners, the speaking bureaus, everybody has something that they're worried about. You get rid of the worry, you make them feel like they're important. Everybody wants to be around you because at the end of the day, we all want to know that we matter. So if you do business with people that make you feel good, you want to do more business with them. And so it's a really, really simple thing. I call it, my philosophy about human beings is just be a fan. Just cheer for everybody. There's so much success to go around. People have really difficult lives. They make things really hard for themselves. Make their life easy. Make them feel great. Give them a hug, smile, compliment them. Be generous. Don't be a pain in the ass. Like literally, it's that simple. So I explode. Now here's the thing. I thought when I started the speaking business that
it would be really amazing to just for the rest of my life be a speaker. Here's what I discovered. There are so many aspects of running a speaking business at this level that deplete the hell out of me. I hate being alone. I hate traveling that much. I really don't like the fact that when I get off the stage, I don't have contact with the audience anymore. What energizes me is conversations like this. What energizes me is hearing from people, connecting with them, the ongoing stuff. And so a year ago, I made a decision, I got to shift the business. Now, it's already a really successful business. And you watching this, your business may be wildly successful too. Let me ask you a question. What aspects of your business energize you? And what aspects deplete you? There's an enormous business opportunity for you right now to simply align your business with the things that energize you more. So for me, that meant, how do I take this significant revenue and duplicate it, but not get on a plane? How do I reach people with these ideas and inspire them without having to be away from my family? How do I have an ongoing connection? Because those are the things that energize me. And so I made a huge pivot. We cut the number of speeches in half and we launched an online course business. We are now in the audio products business. And so that, because it energizes me, because I have an ongoing connection with people. Other than talking to you, which is fucking awesome, hearing from everybody, what they got out of this, seeing your photographs of you with the phone and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then getting the post that you actually closed a big deal. That is so cool because I see that you're changing. That is what is amazing. Now, here's the other thing, guys. 5 years from now, it may deplete the hell out of me to do online courses. Something else, live events, might energize me. So I will make that pivot. So when I said in the very beginning, Peter, there's only one you, and you've got this whole casserole of experiences and interesting wisdom, that depleted versus energized data is that wisdom. Use it to your advantage in business. If you freaking hate selling, hire somebody to do it for you. Pay attention to what your instincts are telling you. I'm not great at managing people. I don't have the patience to explain everything, you know? I'm not great with details in terms of production management. It depletes me. So don't do it. Find a partner, get somebody so this is what I'm saying. You may be banging your head against the wall, and the reason why you haven't hit that level is because you're scared shitless to hire somebody or partner with somebody or give up this aspect of your business that takes 80% of your time, gives you 20% of your revenue, and depletes the hell out of you. Stop being stupid. Do the stuff that feels good. That's easy. That doesn't mean you won't have toilet days. That doesn't mean you don't have to do stuff like empty the trash or do the annoying things. We all have to. But align your business with the things that naturally energize you, and you will explode your income.
There are 4 kinds of time slots during this moment of time. A, B, C, D. I'm going to make it very easy. A is time slots that are all about the kids. This is where you got to just give up any expectation that anything other than being an amazing mom is going to happen. I know some days that sucks. The monotony can drive anybody crazy. It's the hardest and most important job on the planet. And this moment is temporary. So you got to look at your day and say, what are the A slots where it's all about the kids?
Okay.
Next are the B slots. That's busy work that you can do for your stay-at-home business. So busy work includes sending some emails. Busy work includes posting stuff on social media. Busy work is anything you can do for work while your kid is watching TV. C, the C time slot are chores. And this is something your kids can participate in. If you're still got, the 18-month-old in a baby Bjorn and you're wearing them or you park them in the thing on the counter, your 5-year-old can help you with chores. It's going to take you 5 times longer, but that's okay. We're in a weird moment of time. We all got to have patience. Now let's talk about the D block. The D block is the most important block. You ready? Because this is the time that you need for dedicated work and dedicated me time. And so this is where you have conversations with your spouse about what you need. This is where the Zoom calls that can't be interrupted happen. This is where your 20 minutes of exercise so that you are taking care of your mental health and your focus happen. And this is where you carve out, even if it's just 15 minutes or a half an hour, time to do the deeper focused work that needs to get done in your home-based business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. I cannot wait to bring on fitness coach Peter, who is losing his motivation over in Ireland. So let's see what he has to say right now.
Hello there, Mel, team, and the phenomenal community. I'll stay connected. My name is Peter, and I'm dialing in from the Republic of Ireland. And I've got this question based on today's live stream topic, positivity. I'm a fitness coach, and I feel like I've been inspiring, motivating, teaching how to deal with different obstacles, my clients, my family. But on most days, especially now, I am feeling I'm losing the ground under my own feet, and I'm struggling with finding that constant flow of positivity. So my question is, how can I find that balance within my own? So thanks very much for everything you do. Stay blessed, stay well. Thank you again.
All right. So there were a couple things about the question. First of all, Peter, thank you so much for sending your question all the way from Ireland. And you said a couple things that jumped out at you. You are losing the ground underneath you, and you are seeking advice about how to stay motivated consistently. So here's what I want to do. I want to put this in the language that you as a fitness coach will certainly appreciate, but you watching, this is for you too. You're training for this moment. And Peter in particular, somebody who has been motivating people, who has been training people to be physically fit. You have been training for this moment your entire life. And you got to view this moment like a test. And what is the test testing? It's testing who you are. That's part of the race right now, how you show up for it, right? It's not a matter of how you finish it. It's how you show up for it and what you do while you're running it, the kind of racer that you are. And look, I get it. This is a very difficult race that we're all running because we don't know where the finish line is. And it is very, very hard to stay motivated, which is the advice that you're seeking, Peter, when you don't even know when this damn thing is ending. This is the part of the race. I've run 4 marathons. Don't everybody gasp. I mean, it was nothing to brag about. I mean, I finished them, which is something to brag about, but it's not like I won the damn thing. But this is the point in time when you're running a race, when you said you're losing ground. What that means is you're starting to slow down. You feel your legs getting heavier. You feel your breath getting a little bit more shallow. You start to wonder, oh shit, why did I sign up for this thing in the first place? You start to wonder if you are going to make it. And so here's what I'm going to tell you, Peter. When you are coaching your clients and your clients start to lose ground, when you are coaching your clients and your clients don't feel motivated and they feel tired and they feel like giving up and they don't want to do another set of burpees, what do you tell them? You tell them to dig deeper. You tell them to find the strength within them to keep going. You see, what you need right now is you need to start building the motivation of your mind, because motivation doesn't exist in your body. It comes from up here. And what I hear is that you now have an opportunity. This is what the test is, Peter, to train harder because you are capable of so much more. This is handing you a moment where you get to become an even stronger and more capable version of yourself. Now, does that mean that you're going to be motivated all day long, every single day that you wake up? No. But it means you've got to have the mental fitness right now to continue to get up, to show up,
and to dig deeper when it comes to your mindset, when it comes to your attitude, when it comes to your just knowing that you are going to get through this. And so this moment, everybody, it's telling you who you are. It's telling you whether or not you're the kind of person that shows up to a challenge and you're pissed off, or you're sad, or you feel depressed, or you feel despair, or you feel all of these things that start to take you down the drain of negativity. And what I'm here to tell you is that you are built for this moment. You may not feel like it. You may feel sad. Those are all normal feelings. You may feel negative. It's very easy to do. You may start to feel a little bit of despair. That's going to come and go. But this is where the test of this race that we're currently running lies. When those feelings rise up and you start losing ground and you start feeling like you're not going to make it to the finish line and you start feeling unmotivated, can you dig deeper and remind yourself that you were built for this moment? Because one of the things that I know is that when the shit is hitting the fan, I guarantee you there are people in your life that are looking to you. There are people in your life, whether it's clients or colleagues or family members, that are looking to you right now. You know what that tells me? That you're the kind of person that people rely on. And now is the moment in time in the race that we're all running where you got to teach yourself to rely on yourself. How do you do that? How do you build the muscle of the mind? It's very simple. Very simple. I didn't say easy. I said simple. The steps are very simple. To win this race and to build strength in this muscle right up here, you got to focus on the shit you can control. And that is what you do with your body and what you do with your mind. And the one thing that has made a huge difference in me, because you can see that I am showing up as a very different Mel Robbins than I've been the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, I have been losing the race. I've been going up and down. I've been doing my best to stay positive, but I am now back in the race. I have now found my ground and found my footing. And it comes in focusing on what you can control. And you know what you can control? There's only one thing. It's what are you doing to make this day the best day that you can do? What are you doing to master this day today? Fuck tomorrow. Forget about next week. Forget about what's happening this summer. This is a race that will be won by those of you who are the ability to focus on today and making today amazing. And so you know what I did today? Today, I did something I haven't done since the beginning of this quarantine. I got up an hour earlier than I normally do. Why? Well, because I noticed that throughout my day, I was feeling behind. Throughout my day, even though I was waking up, even though I have a morning routine, even though I was getting stuff done, I felt, even though I was doing all those things, somehow behind. And I realized that in order to master my day, in order to be fully in control of what I'm going to do today, I got to make sure that when my ass hits this chair at 9 a.m. and my workday starts, I have fully taken control of everything that puts my body and my mind first. And when I was honest with myself about why I was losing ground and why I wasn't feeling motivated and why I was starting to feel my own energy cycle down, it was because I was not taking the time in the morning to give myself the mental prep and training and the physical prep and training so that I could make this day, today, April 14th, with everything that I got. And so that's what you need to do. And that's what, Peter, you need to do too over there in Ireland. You need to remind yourself of who you are. You are a person who has been training for this moment your entire life. This is a race where you do not see the finish line, which means you have got to focus on today. You have got to focus on what you can control. And the only thing we can control is what our body is doing today and what we allow our minds to focus on. So the second your mind starts to go down that drain of, oh my God, what's going to happen? And and this fall, and when's it going to end? And blah, 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 do. and you feel yourself losing motivation and losing ground, we are done mourning this situation. We are done feeling sad about this situation. How about we give ourselves a collective bitch slap? We dig a little bit deeper and we show up for this situation. What else are you going to do? Feel sorry for yourself? Lick your wounds? It's so much better when you decide to dig deep and you decide to show up. That's what I'm going to do. Some days it's going to be harder than others, but that's the whole point of getting stronger. Reminding yourself that you are capable of so much more. And all of the emotions that you're feeling and all of the excuses that you're feeling, it's all normal, but it's a choice as to whether or not you listen to them. So, Peter, keep me posted on how you're doing. And for you watching this, I hope that this gives you the kick in the ass that you need to shake that negativity loose and to rise to this moment and start working on the things that you can control, your mind and your body. And in case nobody else tells you today, I'm going to tell you, I love you. I believe in you. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how sad you are. I don't care how overwhelmed you are. Get your shit together, because this is the new reality. And you can make today a better day by focusing on what you can control. And I'm going to be here every day, annoying, as positive as I can be, to push you to remember that. And if you're wondering, how the hell do I get on this and get this motivation from Mel and ask her a question and get the tough love that I need and seize the opportunity in this moment, just text your question. See the phone number below? That is our texting community. Get yourself on it. Ask a question. When you text it, there will be something that comes back to you. You got to reply in order to opt in. Ask the question. That way my team can reach out to you. You could find yourself on a future video. How about that? All right. You go have a great day and dig a little deeper today.
You're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. Big difference. Because if it's a habit, I can teach you to use science to break it. So let's talk a little bit about procrastination. Who in here struggles with procrastination? Yeah, and the rest of you that aren't raising your hand are just procrastinating on doing it, aren't you? I know. You see, I always thought procrastination had to do with the thing I was procrastinating around, right? Like that procrastination has something to do with work. Believe it or not, procrastination has nothing to do with your work. Procrastination is a form of stress relief. Let me explain this. So let's say that you've got some stuff going on in your life, and heck, who doesn't have stuff going on in your life? Maybe you're fighting with your significant other. Maybe mom's or dad's health is failing and it's really, really upsetting you. Maybe you've got some financial stuff. You put too much of your savings into Bitcoin, and now that that's crashed, you're stressed out about it, right? And so you go into work, and when you get into work, you got stuff to do, you kind of walk in and you got this big stress ball that subconsciously is hanging over your head. And so you walk in and you sit down and you know you got 13 phone calls you need to make. And you also know that you've been chickening out, you've been making easy calls, and there's a bunch of CIOs or other people that are higher level that you haven't been calling. And so as you sit down to do it, and you got the stress on your shoulders, your brain it starts to go, wait a minute, well, you want me to make a call to somebody that I'm scared to make? Absolutely not. I'm so stressed out about, can we just watch some cat videos for a minute? And next thing you know, an hour's gone by. And then, of course, what do? You beat yourself up. So the only way that you can break this habit, and that's an important word for you to hear, you're not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastinating. Big difference. Because if it's a habit, I can teach you to use science to break it. You see, all habits have three parts. There's a trigger. And in the case of procrastination, the trigger's always stress. Then there's a pattern you repeat, and in the case of procrastination, it is to avoid doing something. And then there's a reward. You get a little stress relief. The only way to break a habit, you guys, is not to deal with the triggers. You're never gonna get rid of the stress in your life, but you can 100% change your pattern of avoiding work. So next time that you're in a situation where you feel yourself hesitate, you spent way too much time checking out the highlights from last night's scores, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go, oh, I must be stressed out about something. Acknowledge the stress. Then go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to count to yourself because I want you to interrupt the habit that's stored here, and I want you to awaken your prefrontal cortex. Then I want you to just work, just for 5 minutes. The reason why I want you to only work for 5 minutes is because your problem isn't working. It's the habit of avoiding. I just need you to start. And here's the other cool thing. We know based on research that if we can get you to start, 80% of you are going to keep going.
So tell me what's going on and how can I help you?
Okay, so I've been a small business owner about 6 years now. And then, with all of the small business owner things that come with it, the overwhelming and trying to balance family, then now this COVID-19 has hit. And I have 3 children in 3 different levels of school. I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary student. So they all have different levels of assistance. My high schooler, I can kind of let her go and do what she needs to do, just check in on her.
Yep.
Middle schooler, a little bit more hands-on, elementary, more hands-on. And so take that, they're home all day. Small business is, thankfully, we haven't been hit with this COVID
What is your
thing.
small business? I'm sitting here. Let's give a shout out to your small business and tell me what it is.
So we do medical billing and coding and collections for laboratories. So some of my clients are doing the COVID testing. And so thankfully billing is really up. We're very, very busy. I'm thankful for that. But there's a lot of follow through. A lot of my clients are asking a lot of questions and it's very hands-on.
So can I just stop right there?
Sure.
First of all, I freaking love small business owners, particularly female small business owners. So I am super thrilled that you took the time to ask me this question so that I could help you out. Are you busier than you've ever been in your business?
Yes.
Okay. See, a lot of us don't realize this. I am busier than I have ever been right now. And that adds another layer of complexity to the overwhelm that you would normally feel running a small business and having 3 school-age kids at 3 different levels in school, requiring 3 different types of support and attention. On top of that, I understand that you are also a caregiver. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so my mother-in-law, who's 85, lives with my husband and I, or our family, and she is going through chemo. So since she lives with us, she's got a lot, and her age, she's got a lot of health complications, and I have a background in medical. I have a nursing background, so we have to primary caregiver, basically. I mean, my husband's here to help, but a lot of the dosing and medications and things like that, it kind of falls onto me as well.
Now, are you the primary breadwinner in your household?
Yes.
Okay. And is your husband currently leaving the house to work, or is he trying to work from home too?
He's trying to work from home too.
Okay. Here, are you ready?
Yeah.
This is a pivotal moment in your marriage and in your business.
Yeah.
You want to know why? You have an extraordinary opportunity to grow your business right now.
Right.
And you have more business than you can probably even service at the moment.
Yeah, and I have a lot of clients coming to me that I've had to put on the back burner because I just can't.
We don't want to. Yes, you can, because here's what we're going to do. You ready? This is a moment where you sit down with your husband, because you two are in a partnership in your relationship, and you now need his support in order to go and take this business to the next level. And here is what I want you to do. I want you to sit down today and to quantify all of this business that you're putting on the back burner. And if you were able to bring that business in, how much more money would it bring into the business? And if you were to able to free yourself up for 10 hours more every week to not only deal with bringing in that business, but also reaching out and marketing and hiring another person or two to bring into your business to help, how much more could you then add with just 10 hours of your time freed up? You see, I am a wildly successful businesswoman. And one of the reasons why I am wildly successful is because my husband and I had this conversation in our marriage 5 years ago. And my business started to go like this. And I thought, holy cow, if I can free up 10 hours a week of my time, and if my husband sees the opportunity and he feels invested in supporting our family dynamic shifting and in supporting me extracting myself, which is not easy, from a lot of the primary care duties of the kids and of the household running and of, taking care of your mother-in-law, those 10 hours translate into tens of thousands of dollars for our family.
Right.
And it's in this moment of time where if you step up and you invest time and maybe a few more people at this problem, which is so much business and no time and bandwidth to address it. I actually feel this right now in the virtual training business. We have so many companies coming to us right now about virtual trainings and asking about the offerings that I got to carve out 10 hours that I'm telling you to find to package it up so people know what they could possibly buy. And so the key part, though, is you can't do this on your own. And you can't do this hoping that he recognizes that you're working harder, because what happens is our spouses can't read our minds. Right. Our spouses want to support us. Our spouses also are in a model right now where you guys share time, you share resources, you share things, and you're basically saying, I want your help going up, which means I got to go down in terms of how much I'm contributing here.
Right.
And getting him on board is critical because of two reasons. Number one, you need 10 hours a week. How much extra money do you think you could make if you got 10 hours back every week?
Oh, I could probably do 10 times the amount of income.
10 times?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, I literally, and so a lot of it is I consult with a lot of my clients and then we onboard them to do their billing. But a lot of the consulting is where I just don't have time. And part of my question is I try to compartmentalize my day. Like, okay, from here, from 8 in the morning to 2 p.m. I'm working. And then from 2 to 5, I'm helping my kids. And then 5 to 10, I'm going back to work. So, and I'm not able to do it all. I'm not able to consult with them. And I just keep telling them, give me a few more weeks.
Correct. No, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to your husband and say exactly what you said to me. I have a chance to 10x my business. And that means we have a chance to 10x what happens for our family.
Right.
And here's what I need for you specifically. From 2 to 5, you've got to be with the kids. Because I need to be on the phone with clients. And I need to also start to, if it means freelancers or however you scale the business. And I would recommend freelancers because this is a moment in time, but I think this type of billing is going to happen for a long time.
Right.
And the expertise that you're gaining is going to make your consulting price go up, up, up. But you need to enroll him in taking the 2 to 5.
Okay.
That's what has to happen. The second thing the two of you need to do is on Sunday nights, make sure that you preview the whole week.
Okay.
So that if there is a particular conference call that is important, or if your mom needs to go somewhere for chemo, that you've figured out how to cover each other.
Okay.
And you've talked about it in advance, because what ends up happening too, especially because your attention is going to start to go like this in your business, because this is a huge moment of potential growth for you.
Right.
And your family deserves to have that happen. You deserve to have that happen. Your attention is going to really get pulled into this business. So to minimize the sniping that happens between spouses and the resentment that starts to get built up, both from him, because he's now suddenly feeling like he's getting pulled in every direction,
something that women have felt forever. But again, I'm just speaking from my own experience in my own marriage.
Yeah.
That it's one thing to say, yeah, I'll help. It's the other thing to be pulling yourself away from work at 2:00 and dealing with the kids. And the reason why you need his buy-in is because it helps with that resentment that starts to build quietly between spouses. Talking on Sunday nights and previewing it allows him to be heard and allows him to request what he needs in case something's important coming up for work.
Okay.
And it allows the two of you to handle logistics and stay aligned instead of barking about it during the week. But I got a conference call, but you said you were doing this, but oh, it's Wednesday? I thought today was Tuesday. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What concerns do you have?
I think that was the main thing is I feel like I have so much writing and I just don't, if I was compartmentalizing it, things like that. I do talk to my husband and say, look, I need to get on this conference call, and my office is here at my house. And so it's like, I need you to keep the kids away. I need you to keep them outside. I don't need the kids running in here because, they often do that.
Well, one thing I want to tell you, nobody's going to penalize you in this moment of time if they hear kids in the background.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, I also enroll my kids. So I did a huge 2-hour training for a massive pharmaceutical company on Friday for Novartis. Uh-huh. And I told my family, I've got this amazing opportunity. You people need to be out of this house for those 2 hours. And they were. And the day before, I text everybody in our family group text and I say, hey guys, tomorrow is the thing. I'm working really hard. I just want to tell you, I appreciate you. You can do those kinds of things because then your kids feel like they're part of your success. Okay. So first get your husband on board. Then the two of you at family dinner say something really exciting's going on. Mom's business is exploding. And so I'm going to take the 2 to 5 shift. And you can be like, everybody, this is so cool. Thank you for your support. Thank you for putting up with me when I go like, you can't believe like the business is growing. Yeah. Do you know what this means for us? And so you enroll them in your success, which also helps. Now, does that take care of the shit that comes up? No, of course not. But it is through the acknowledgement and the constant little bits of communication about what you need. And what you need is you need a runway from 8:00 in the morning till 5:00 at night, because that's when your clients need you.
Yep.
And then you can tell your husband, hey, at 5:00, I'll take over. No problem. And you can go back to work.
Yeah.
But that's how you're going to have to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I love it. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Compartmentalizing doesn't work.
Okay.
When you have more work than you have time to do it in. So if you think about this is a vessel, right? And okay, let me see if I can let's see if I can do show and tell with Mel. Okay, so this vase is a vessel. This is a vessel. This is a vessel. Oh, here's another candle. This is a vessel. So if this is your business and it's going to bloom, and you got all kinds of amazingness happening over here, and let me see if I can hold this, do this. And this right here is family, right? And all the time and energy you got to pour into that. And this right here is your mother-in-law that needs you. This right here is you and me, because we get burnt out because we come blast. See how it's got the burn ring around the top? Yeah. You could pour all of your time into just this. And you still need to reserve a little bit for your family, for your mother-in-law, and for you.
Yeah.
And right now, this is your business and you're not pouring enough time into this. And at some point, when the growth levels out, your business and your family start to look a little bit more like the same size.
Okay.
But in order for this business to bloom, you got to pour more time here. You got to also make sure you find time for yourself, whether that's a bath at night or get up a little bit earlier in the morning so you have a chance to take a walk or to meditate, journal, or just plan your day before the craziness starts. time for your family, time for your mother-in-law.
Okay.
You can figure it out, but your husband needs to basically take this cup off the table for a little bit.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I think he will too when he understands 10X, baby. There you go. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. We've been praying for this. And him feeling like he's part of that success makes it easier to get him to do what you need.
Okay, perfect.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Will you let me know how it goes? And if he is anything less than fucking thrilled, you get him back on a video with me and you, and we will have a talk. Okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
Bring my husband. We'll have a double date, and we'll talk about what happens when a man empowers his wife as the breadwinner.
Yeah, sounds good.
Amazingness. Okay, good. Super proud of you. Go get him.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell everybody your project, and then let's talk about the thing that you're still kind of stuck or struggling with.
So the project is to be aware, to understand, and to know myself as a teacher. And the thing that I'm stuck on, I was sitting there thinking about it, the thing that I'm stuck on is that I have a bazillion ideas about things that I can create and do and courses and trainings and la-di-da-di-da.
Who can relate?
And so actually moving from the idea and even creating the whole curriculum and all of that to actually making it happen.
Yeah.
And doing it.
So I have a cool strategy that I use, and I hope it works for you. So I carry a little notebook, and I actually borrowed this from Chris, because when we lived in New York City, he used to carry around a notebook like this size, and whenever he had an idea, he'd just jot it down, then he'd stick it in his back pocket. And it was just full of all kinds of stuff. So I carry around a notebook, and this one's new, so it doesn't really have much in it. As ideas come, I just jot it down in that notebook. And then what happens for me is I get anxiety because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget the idea. Then that anxiety makes me get distracted and unfocused and overwhelmed. And so I think if you were to have a little notebook on you at all times, and when those creative juices and those impulses go, that you jot them down, that's going to remove one layer of the overwhelm. Okay? The next thing I would do, what are the top 3 things in terms of all this creative stuff that you're interested in doing? What's the top 3 projects that inspire you the most?
Story. Really getting people's story.
Okay.
And getting into the story and understanding how what we've created, what we've had, what those stories are and what we can do with them to make our lives work and what is working, because there's lots and lots and lots of attention on what's up.
Yes.
But there's so much that's working.
Yes. So
I mean, even the question that you're asking us, like, what happened to you?
Yes.
That has you break down?
Yes.
What happened to us that has us be in this room?
I thought you were inspired, right? Yeah, that's the good thing, right?
Yeah.
So do you see how you light up when you talk about that? So to me, it's very clear that your energy is about focusing on what's good and what is working, and elevation and amplification. I mean, even in the way that you dress, when I talk about shaking and the essence, the vibrancy of you. And so I think all that's missing is the right vehicle for expressing that. I want you to pick one thing that you're going to do, whether it's writing a book or blogging every week and starting to archive all of these things and amplifying your own voice on this topic. What do you see?
Good stuff.
Of course, right? Yeah. So what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, thanks to somebody whose name I can't remember right now, but who I know is here, who I saw on their page, 750 words, I started writing again.
Fabulous.
And so I'm writing every day, and I'm on like a 21-day streak or something like that.
Wow.
And from that, that's how Sacred Musings, which is a series of writings that I've done, was born, was from the 750 Words Project.
Wow.
And so it's coming again. And it's, yeah.
See, to me, you are the voice. The project isn't about anything or anyone else.
Right.
It's about your voice.
Right.
And so I also want you to consider that as long as you are doing something to express your voice in some small way every day, that is the path. And all of the other stuff, you're getting distracted by the how and the what it looks like. And I want you to join me in that journey of embracing that you're actually an artist and you're a writer and you are somebody that's out in the world expressing your ideas in a multitude of ways. So this is a question from Vicky. Vicky writes, I'm trying to become a fashion and beauty blogger and earn money from it full time, but I have some kind of mental block and procrastination problem when it comes to actually pushing myself to do anything related to that goal. This is something that we hear about all the time, that you have this huge goal, yet you cannot seem to push through the mental block, that you have something that you want to do full time, but you can't seem to beat procrastination. This is something that we see over and over and over again. And it's this idea that you don't ever start. You stay trapped in your head. And if you feel paralyzed, if you've been spinning the same ideas over and over and over again, then you know what I'm talking about. You see, many of you are thinking way too fucking big. You're attaching way too much pressure on the things that you're interested in. Until you start blogging about fashion, you won't even know if you like it. So thinking that you have a dream about doing it and thinking that you have this grand plan that you're going to do it full time, it is a complete and utter waste of your time to be dreaming that big. And let me tell you why. Because oftentimes, if you're the kind of person like Vicky that's getting trapped up here, the bigness of what you're thinking about is what's stopping you. What I want you to do if you're in Vicky's situation is I want you to stop dreaming and I want you to just start doing small things. I want you to go back to curiosity and less into crushing your big goals. The thing about life and business and success is that you have to be willing to start. And for people that procrastinate, starting is the hardest part. For people that worry, for people that think too big, starting is the hardest part. Folks that study procrastination talk about the fact that the only way to beat procrastination is to create what they call a starting ritual, which is a way to push yourself to get started. Because all the research shows that if we can push you to get started on something, you'll likely keep going. So, Vicky, the only way to get out of the mental trap is to stop fucking thinking and actually start doing it. And maybe thinking that this is going to be your full-time employment, that's the wrong way to go about it. I want you to literally just commit to writing some sort of blog about fashion every day for a fucking week. That's it. Don't think about full-time. Don't think about the bigness of it. Actually start doing it. You may discover you don't like it, for crying out loud, but you're never, ever, ever going to advance if you continue up here. How do you force yourself to do it? Well, you can use the 5-second rule for that. You can wake up in the morning and say, today I'm committing to making small progress on this thing I'm curious about, which is fashion blogging. You can find time when you're going to sit down, and then the second that it's time to do it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start writing. Here's what you can expect to experience if you're somebody like Vicky who has trouble getting out of the thinking loop. The second that it's time to actually move from thought to action, you will become a first-class asshole. You will feel resistance. You will struggle with what you're going to write. You will start to feel like it needs to be perfect. You're going to come up with excuses. You're going to talk yourself out of it. Why? Well, because you're used to thinking, and now you're asking yourself to do. Why am I explaining what you should expect? The reason why I'm explaining what you should expect is because it's normal to feel those things. It's normal to feel scared. It's normal to feel like you don't want to do it. It's normal to think about doing it perfect. Letting those things stop you is a choice. So, let me recap. you're the kind of person like Vicky that's got all these big ass dreams, but you can't get out of your thinking loops, you can't stop procrastinating, you can't stop thinking about it, you get overwhelmed and so you do nothing, the only solution is micro action. That's it. I don't want to hear shit about your big goals. In fact, for everybody out there, I don't want to hear shit about your dreams and your goals until you're actually taking the actions every day for a couple weeks straight. You don't get to talk about your dreams until you can prove that you wake up and every single damn day you push yourself to take one small action forward. If you can do that consistently for a month, then you can start talking about your dreams. Then you can start talking about how you make money at it. Then you can start talking about how you build skill around it. But until you can actually get your ass out of bed and make the commitment to yourself to do the actions required to become a blogger, or to be a blogger, not become, to be a blogger, to be somebody that's in the restaurant business, you're just all talk. That's all I got to say on this. We all procrastinate. We avoid the things that we know that we need to do, and then we spend the rest of the day beating ourselves up. It's amazing. Actually, it sucks, doesn't it? So how do you stop procrastinating? Oh, simple. Just nail yourself to a chair. That's what you do. You tell yourself no booze until you get it done. That works. No, it doesn't. The reason why these things don't work is because most of us don't even understand what procrastination is. I know I certainly didn't. The reason why you procrastinate is not why you think. Procrastination has nothing to do with work. Procrastination is a stress reliever. That's right. It's a tool that you use to give yourself relief from stress that you feel. And the stress that you may be feeling right now might be stressed about money. You might be stressed about your health. Maybe you're stressed about something going on at work or about a relationship that you're in. And the way that this relates to procrastination is you're stressed out, you got work you know you need to do, but instead of doing it, you go online or you watch the highlights of last night's game or you waste an hour looking at Facebook. And when you do that, when you avoid work, it makes you feel good, but just for a minute. See, this is where we get procrastination all wrong. A lot of people think procrastination is about willpower. It means that you're lazy. Has nothing to do with that. It's all about your stress. That's why your work ethic or discipline, that's not going to solve this either. The key to stopping procrastination, number one, is understanding what it is. It's a way that you deal with stress. And number two, it's about 5-second decisions that stop the cycle of procrastinating. Because when you change your decisions, you're going to change everything. And here's how you're going to use the 5-second rule to do it. When you catch yourself procrastinating, or you feel yourself starting to avoid what you need to do, use the rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, activate your prefrontal cortex, and then acknowledge. Acknowledge that you feel stressed out. That's the first piece. Then you're going to use the 5-second rule to just get started. That's it, for 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Force yourself. I'm stressed out. I get it, but I'm going to work for 5 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sit down and get started. After you've worked for 5 minutes, give yourself a break. Watch all the cat videos you want. I don't really care. The point here is that this is a way that you can use the 5-second rule in combination with research about beating procrastination that puts you in control of your decisions. Stacy found that when she used the 5-second rule to improve her relationship with herself, there was an amazing result. She stopped procrastinating. In her words, your rule has helped me grow in ways I never thought possible. I no longer procrastinate on anything. And the same is going to be true for you. Because when you understand that procrastination is something that you do when you're stressed, and you also understand that the secret to beating procrastination, which is a habit, is to just get started, now you can use the 5-second rule to leverage all the research that will help you end the habit of procrastinating once and for all. To learn more about the science behind why this works, why just getting started is the key, and all of the science behind it, I want you to read chapter 11 of the 5-second rule book. And it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and at your local bookstore. Okay. I have to confess something to you. I am procrastinating right now. I'm stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. My manuscript is due in a matter of 24 hours or so. And look, I'm even losing my train of thought in this video. And instead of working on the manuscript, I've become a passenger to my stress. And my stress has triggered me to take on a project. See this fridge? It would be empty. It has no shelves remaining in it because I thought the day before my manuscript is due, maybe you should spend a couple hours pulling the refrigerator apart, take everything out, put it on the counters. Why not hand wash all of the shelves there for the fridge? Because, you know, that's going to help you with the manuscript. Oh, and the piece of glass, that's going to help you with the manuscript that is right here that needs your editing, Mel. Oh my God. You know, it's so funny because the book that I'm writing, it's so awesome. I can't wait for you to read it. It's called The 5 Decisions, and it's about the 5 decisions that put you in the driver's seat of your life. Because on the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers, and at any moment you can choose to be one. Either a passenger or a driver. And right now I'm a passenger to my stress. And the key to being a driver in your life is recognizing when you get hijacked by old patterns, when your stress and your uncertainty and your anxiety kicks you into autopilot mode and you distract yourself and engage in patterns of behavior like avoiding what you need to do. You know, interesting thing about procrastination is it's a form of stress relief. Because if I'm stressed out about the manuscript in the dining room that needs final editing, one way to avoid having to deal with what stresses me out is to procrastinate and find something else to do. Find something that lets your brain take a break from the thing that's hard, the manuscript that I need to be editing right now, and give your brain a break and relax by doing something like emptying out your entire fridge, washing all the stuff in the sink. So what do you do when you realize you've become a passenger to your stress? How do you get back in the driver's seat? Well, number 1, you got to recognize what you're doing. Number 2, don't make yourself wrong. You're human. You're going to go back and forth between being a passenger and a driver all the time. Number 3, the second you realize that you've just been hijacked, you have a choice. You can continue to clean out the fridge. Oh, look, I haven't taken the trash out either. Oh, and isn't that nice? My ADD is on fire today. Number 3, you've got a choice. You can continue to procrastinate. Choose it, enjoy it. Or you can interrupt the fact that you're being carried away by it. And you can 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to quickly put all this crap back in the fridge. And I'm going to get back to the thing that I've been avoiding. Because the longer I avoid this, the more stressed out I'm going to feel. Anyway, I got a manuscript to edit. In this video, I'm going to show you the specific way that you can use the 5-second rule to increase your productivity. Now first, let's talk a little bit about productivity as a concept. Productivity is not about blasting through your to-do list and doing more. It's actually about doing less. Productivity is the ability to make progress on the things that matter to you. It sounds simple, right? I mean, just move the ball down the field on the important stuff. But it's not easy. Why? Blame your feelings. You see, you're capable of being more productive. You're just waiting to feel like doing what you need to do. And guess what? You're never going to crack the whip on yourself when you have a million other things that you need to do and you got people that are making demands on you. One thing that you must understand is that you have the power to decide what's important. And productivity actually boils down to simple 5-second decisions. Here's one that you need to start making immediately that will have a tremendous impact on your ability to be productive. When the alarm goes off, do you wake up early to work on your business, or do you blow it off because you don't feel like it, you're tired? Or do you stick to the plan to finish some important tasks, or do you mainline Facebook instead because, you'd just rather relax? When you change your decisions, you'll change everything. Because productivity boils down to the ability to make small 5-second decisions that put the things that are important first. And here's one 5-second decision that will make you more productive than any other. Get up 30 minutes earlier than you normally do and push yourself to work on the most important priorities first. This isn't just me. Research shows that your most productive hours are the first 2 to 3 hours after you wake up and get ready. This means that for peak productivity, you've got to do whatever you can do to make sure the most important work to you gets done first during that window of time. So here's how you're going to use the rule. The moment your alarm goes off and you want to hit the snooze button, use the rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself out of bed. Then use the rule again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit down and get working on the things that matter to you instead of checking your phone, instead of letting your day get hijacked. You see, the moment you feel yourself wanting to give in to distraction, you're going to use the rule again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to assert control and get back on task to the things that matter to you. It doesn't really matter how busy you are. We're all busy. If you really care, you'll find the time. And that's how you're going to use the rule, to find the time to work on things that matter to you. This is what Rachel did. She wanted to change her life, so she decided to make progress on what was important. And she did this by starting with getting up earlier, getting out of bed, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, focusing on what mattered. And as you can see, that small 5-second decision, getting up 30 minutes earlier, started a chain of events that changed her entire life. She lost 30 pounds, she bought her first home, and she reinvigorated her marriage. Why? The reason why is because she learned how to beat the feelings and excuses that stopped her, and she found the time to work on things that matter. That is the definition of productivity. Getting the important stuff done only works when you push yourself to do it. And when you push yourself, 5-second decision, to wake up earlier and start your day off right, you will be shocked by what changes it ignites. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to productivity. There are tons of strategies that I discuss that are based in research in Chapter 10 of the 5-Second Rule book, and how you can use all of this research in combination with the 5-second rule to not only become more productive, but to end procrastinating forever, to regain your focus whenever you get distracted, and lots of other things that are going to help you improve your quality of work and also your life. The book is available on Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, and at your local bookstore. Okay, how many procrastinators are in the room? Raise your hand. And everybody else is just procrastinating on raising their hand. I'm about to change your life because this piece of research changed mine. Procrastination has nothing to do with work. The people that write to us the most that struggle with procrastinating, PhD students, engineers, entrepreneurs, people that have a lot on their plate, that have a lot of things that they need to juggle, and that are analytical and thinkers by nature. Procrastination is a form of stress relief. What are you stressed about?
I want to get out of this business of real estate. I want to retire in the next 5 years, and I can't because I have not saved up. I have not gotten the money that I need to do that.
Bingo, and it makes you upset, doesn't it? Yeah. How many of you can relate to that? She said that what's stressing her out is she wants to retire. She hasn't saved up enough money. What's really stressing you out is finances and money and the fear that you have. What happens when you struggle with procrastinating, and thank you for being so honest, there's that stresses you out. Maybe you feel the same way. I mean, we felt that way. I know exactly what you're talking about. You carry around this dark cloud because you don't think you're going to make it, and you're stressed about money all the time. Or maybe your mom's health is declining, and that really stresses you out. Or maybe your best friends are going through a divorce, or you're going through a divorce, and that really stresses you out. And so you walk around with this big-ass thing on your shoulders all the time. And then you walk into work, and you sit down, and you've got a list of phone calls to make, which requires your prefrontal cortex. And your prefrontal cortex looks at the list and is like, oh my God,
You want me to make 15 phone calls? I've been worried about the money all day. Can we just look at cat videos? I need a break. And next thing you know, 2 hours is gone. You've been online shopping, you've been looking at cat videos, and then of course you look at the 15 phone calls, you're like, I didn't make them, I didn't make them, I didn't make them. The research on procrastination is undeniable. It's black and white. Number one, all of you that procrastinate, procrastination's not the issue, it's stress. You're procrastinating to give yourself a little break at work. It's sort of like taking a smoking break almost, you know? You're just taking a break. So number one, because you're all stressed out and procrastinators are very hard on yourselves, this is gonna sound super stupid, but you gotta forgive yourself. You have got to actually have a talk with yourself where you feel yourself starting to procrastinate, you go, look, I know I really screwed up. I know I'm in a mess financially. I forgive myself. I'm just gonna do the best that I can. So you have to address the thing that's underneath it. So that self-awareness of knowing, oh my God, here's that stress again about finances screwing me over and preventing me from doing the small things that will actually fix my finances. Second thing that you're gonna do, procrastination's a habit, right? You get triggered by stress, the habit is to procrastinate. So when you get triggered by stress, your new habit is, oh, there's my stress again. I'm gonna actually tell myself, okay, you've done the best you can. It's okay, we're gonna do a little bit today. You're gonna create what we call starting ritual. A starting ritual is something that pushes you to start. The best one on the planet, the 5-second rule. So you've said, okay, there's my stress again. I forgive myself. Now we're gonna 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to only work for 5 minutes. That's it, 5 minutes. Make phone calls for 5 minutes. Here's what we know based on the research. 80% of you will keep going. The trick is starting. You see, I want to break the connection between the trigger, which is stress, and the response, which is procrastination. And whenever you feel stress, which is normal, you have a choice. Here's that gap. In 5 seconds flat, the habit of procrastinating and beating yourself up will take over. Or you can close the gap, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can make a different choice. I'm just gonna get started. I'm just gonna be okay with where I'm at, and I'm just gonna get started. Got it? Good. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. And you, I think of probably anybody on the planet will get what I'm about to say in your bones because you understand the profound impact that the 5-second rule as a starting ritual has had on millions of people's lives, helping them move from thinking to doing. And even sitting here, Jim, with you, which it's just an honor being such a fan of your work too, to be here with you, even sitting here knowing the impact that the 5-second rule has had on millions of people's lives. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something.
What's that?
The high five habit is an even bigger deal with more profound change. And I can't wait to unpack it, but I'll tell you personally, I use the 5-second rule to turn my life around, to go from being bankrupt to being extraordinarily successful, to changing every habit I have, to improving my marriage. It got me into action. But I'll tell you what it never did. It never silenced the critic in my head that I lived with. It never ended the relentless beatdown that I was giving myself. And it never broke the habit that I had of constantly hating myself or focusing on the things that weren't working instead of celebrating myself and focusing on the things that were. And the high five habit cuts right down through all that noise and reconnects you with the you that's in there, with the confidence that is your birthright. And the way that it literally reprograms your mind is breathtaking.
Well, you know, we talk a lot about morning routines, and this was the easiest thing to add to my morning routine. That's given me so much in return, and not just in terms of in a short period of time, you know, in terms of the ripple of it, but even just immediately, you know, just celebrating myself in the bathroom mirror, and what we could talk about how that works. I'm also, by the way, pulling back, a big fan of just counting down from 5, you know, getting myself out of bed or getting myself to put on my running shoes. And so I could see the difference and how they complement each other so well. And so maybe we could walk our listeners through this. And I would highly recommend everyone, I mean, our audience loves to read, to make sure you get your copy also as well.
Well, so it's very simple. And since I know that your listeners want to get right into the science and right into what to do, I'm not even going to tell you the story because I did not set out to create this. I created the high five habit on a morning that everybody can relate to, a morning where life felt overwhelming, a morning where I felt defeated, a morning where I felt sort of stuck and dreading the day. And I was standing there brushing my teeth, Jim, and I catch my reflection in the mirror and I think, oh, you look like hell. And then all of a sudden I started to criticize the way that I looked, like the dark circles under my eyes, the bags under my like kind of chin and neck, and one boob's hanging lower than the other. And then once your thoughts go negative, they kind of take you down. So now I'm thinking about my day ahead. And I'm beating myself up. Why'd I get up so late? And I've only got 8 minutes to the first Zoom call, and the dog hasn't even been walked. And you just said something interesting. It's an easy thing. The high five habit is an easy thing to add to the morning routine. We all talk a lot about morning routines. It wasn't until I discovered this that I realized there was a piece to my morning routine I was not even aware of, a habit that I needed to break, Jim. A habit that gratitude and exercise and all this stuff was not actually erasing. A habit of standing before the bathroom mirror and either ignoring the human being you see in the mirror or criticizing them. That is how we start our day. 91% of women don't like how they look. 50% of us can't even look in the mirror. I know it's true for men too. We stand in judgment. And so what happened for me this morning, here's the high five habit. It is profoundly simple. It's going to change your life the second you're done brushing your teeth. And I want you to do it right after you brush your teeth because I want you to stack this habit with something you're already doing because you know, because you listen to this podcast, that it's the fastest way to learn a new behavior. Yep. Let's get the gunk out of your teeth so you don't spread dragon breath on everybody. Now let's get the gunk out of your head so you're not spreading negativity throughout your day. As you stand in front of the mirror, I want you to leverage a little piece of research from Harvard. New research shows that if you take less than a minute and you intentionally think about the day ahead and how you're going to show up as a leader, it changes your productivity, your focus, how you show up, and your ability to impact people. Let's throw that out the window in terms of being a leader, and let's look in the mirror and let's use that for ourselves to improve our own lives. I want you to take a second and I want you to realize there's actually two people in the bathroom every morning, Jim. There's you and there's a human being in the mirror that's been waiting for you to wake up and realize they need you. They're trying hard. They've got a good heart. They need your support and your encouragement. They need you to see them. They need you to love them. That is literally what I'm talking about when I talk about the high five habit, that you wake up and recognize there is a person you go through life with that stares you back in the mirror every morning, and your habit right now is to tear them down or ignore them. And I want you to set an intention and I want you to look at them in the morning. And this is going to feel weird because you're going to realize I've never actually asked myself this question. And here's the question. What is that person in the mirror? What is she or he or they? What do they need from me today? We think about it for work, for our families, for everybody else. Yeah. You've never stopped and asked yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, how do I need to show up for that person today? Then, as you've got that intention, despite the fact that it feels weird, despite the fact that you're going to resist this, and we can talk about why you're going to feel most likely resistance, I then want you to raise your hand and I want you to high five the reflection. And what's amazing about this new habit, Jim, is your brain and your nervous system are already designed to do the work for you.
Because also, I mean, you think about how we high five other people, you know, throughout the day.
Yep.
You know, and to celebrate them, to encourage them, but we're not always doing that. I mean, it's interesting because no amount of love is enough to fill the yearning that our soul requires from ourselves, right? When do we work daily on being in love with that person in the mirror who's been through so much, but is still standing?
Yeah. And think about some of the habits that we know based on research change your life. Meditation. Meditation is profoundly important. The benefits you talk about all the time. Meditation develops self-awareness. It also helps you learn how to be non-reactive to your thoughts, but it doesn't change your default thoughts.
Yeah.
Gratitude, also hugely important, tremendous benefit. Yes, you should have a gratitude practice. However, almost all of us, when we practice gratitude, we think about things outside of ourselves that we're grateful for. And so the high five habit is about bringing the power back in house. It's about giving you a science-backed tool that will teach you through a simple action how to support, how to love, how to encourage, how to celebrate yourself every single day. And let me explain the science, because this is where things get crazy. The reason why this works is because of the programming that's already in your brain. So you have a lifetime of giving and receiving high fives. In fact, Jim, when somebody high fives you or you high five somebody else, what does the gesture alone of a high five tell somebody else?
That they are extraordinary, they are amazing, congratulations, you're winning,
Exactly. You don't ever high five somebody and say, I hate you. You always high five and are like, I love you. We got this. No problem. Go get them. You're going to win. Even if somebody just blew it, you high five them and it's like, shake it off. Come on. I still believe in you. Let's go. And so all of that programming is right here in the interior of your brain. It's in your basal ganglia. It is in your subconscious. It is sitting there and it is married to the action of high fiving. So what happens is when you stand there, you set this intention, you're with yourself, you see yourself, you feel the resistance, you ignore the resistance, you go to high five yourself. Your brain's like, oh, I know what this gesture means. It activates the subconscious programming. It silences the critic and the beatdown. You can't think anything but positive thoughts. It's impossible neurologically because of the programming already in your brain. And then over time, if you do this, give me just 5 days. You do this 5 days in a row, fight through the weirdness because it's new and the resistance because you have the opposite habit. You judge yourself, you reject yourself. When you high five yourself, it silences that. It activates the programming that's already in your brain and it starts to marry it with your own reflection. And that's not all. I talked to our buddy, Dr. Amen, the other day. He went bananas when he heard about this. He's like, Mel, holy cow. Do you realize you also get a boost in your mood because when you high five other people, you get a dopamine drip. So you get a dopamine drip when you do this to yourself. He also said, you know how when you come into the bathroom and you're kind of dragging in the energy and when you high five yourself, whether it's because you laugh or because you just kind of feel good, you get this little like pep in your step. So you start your day feeling slightly more energized. I'm like, yeah, Dr. Amen, tell me about that. He said, well, that's your nervous system. Your nervous system is encoded with celebratory energy. When you cross a finish line, you raise your hands. When your favorite team scores, you raise your hands. When you say hello to somebody, you raise your hands. When you hug somebody, you raise your hands. When you high five, you raise your hands. Your nervous system remembers it. That's where the energy comes from. The coolest thing about the high five habit, Jim, is the programming is already in you because you've been doing this your whole life for everybody else.
Yeah. And we are hardwired for this.
Hardwired. In fact, when you were born, DNA, in your DNA was celebration and joy. Little kids, when you see them in front of a mirror, they don't step back and go, my thighs are fat. Man, I'm a loser. They don't do that. They spin, they high five the mirror, they kiss the mirror, they love themselves. This is your birthright. It was your life experience that taught you to judge and reject yourself. And I'm here to tell you this simple habit of standing before the mirror and raising your hand and high-fiving yourself like you so willingly do for everybody else. Yeah. You don't have to say a thing. You can have resistance. You can feel that it's weird. You can literally reject it in your mind as you start to do it, and you will experience massive transformation as you complete the gesture because your mind is wired for this. You know, my husband, Jim, a lot of people know the story because it was his restaurant business failing that rocketed us into this personal crisis. And that's when I invented the 5-second rule. Well, his best friend and he worked at that restaurant business for 7 years. And at the end of the 7 years, they sold it for a song to a new investor. And our best friend, his business partner, was able to shrug and go, okay, well, that's entrepreneurship. I'm very proud of what we did. I'm proud of how hard we worked. And, you know, did we return the profit we wanted? No, but I'm still proud of myself. My husband couldn't do that. My husband said, I failed. Do you know for 7 years, he has looked in the mirror every morning, Jim, like so many of us do, and dragged his past in there and said, because this thing in my past, I am a failure. I am unworthy. I am unlovable. When I first started this high five thing in April of 2020 to pick myself up after getting fired from my dream job as a talk show host and in the throes of the pandemic and my kids in crisis and the world in crisis and just feeling overwhelmed, Chris couldn't do it. And the reason why he couldn't do it is the reason why everybody's resistant to doing it. It's because he was dragging all of that judgment and everything from his past into the bathroom every morning. And he was saying, because of that experience, I don't see a human being that's worthy of celebration. So if you've experienced trauma or abuse or discrimination, or you've been abandoned, or, you know, you're a human being and you've done things you've regretted, or you wish you could change and you'd forgive Jim or me for it, but you stand in judgment of yourself, you will resist this because right now you see a human being who doesn't deserve celebration. If you're like Jim and I, and you are very much achievement driven, you may realize as you resist this that you don't celebrate yourself unless you've done something, unless you've worked out, unless you've got the money in the bank, unless you're driving the Range Rover, unless you fix that thing. And what I'm here to tell you is we got it all opposite, Jim. Yeah. You see, we've been withholding the very support and celebration that we need in order to feel inspired, encouraged, and motivated to take the actions that change our life. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you like this one, I have a feeling you're going to like this one too. I'll see you there.